Part 2. The first part ended with telling the Lord that I needed his help. At night I would say, Lord, help me, Lord, help me. Lord, please help me. Lord, I don't want to be here. Lord, please help me. But my help came when my grandmother sent for me. Now, mind you, my grandmother was a loving grandmother, and my grandmother loved me. But my grandmother didn't realize the things that had happened to me. All she could do is the nightmares that I would have. She could just hold me in her arms, and she would do that. My nerves were so bad. But my grandmother would just rock me, and she would cry because she wanted to know what had happened, and I couldn't talk about it. You know, that was a very hard thing to talk about because I didn't understand it. But as time went on, I started to learn things, and the love that my grandmother gave me was a love that I'd never known before, and I've never had felt, you know. And at that time, with living with my grandmother, that's when I became to know my other parent. And when I began to know who my other parent was, you know, my other parent was on drugs and was an alcoholic. And that was the time when my parent had molested me and sodomized me at the age of 13. I got pregnant at the age of 14 because I always was, I guess you would say, strong-minded in a sense. I believe that the prayers were working for me. I just did not know how to utilize the gifts and the talents that God had given me. So I use them to my advantage, I will say, because at this age, I would say that I knew more than what anybody would thought I should have known at the age of 13. Okay. But little to say is I was a very wise child. I knew a lot of things, and as time went on, I got to be involved with a drug dealer. Had a lot of money, you know, played with a lot of money, you know, wasn't thinking about investing anything, but you know, that didn't last long. Of course, we always know that doesn't last long at all. I've dealt with shooting, carrying a gun, you know, sitting on a corner waiting for, you know, the next customer to come by. But that was a choice that I made. Not because of my life when I was a child and how I was raised. That was a choice that I made. It looked good, you know. I've tried weed. I've tried primos, you know, where they're laced with cocaine. I've tried those things with the person that I was living with. But this person told me that he could make me into a rock star. And I've seen rock stars. I really didn't know what that mean, but I thought it was the women that was on crack, you know, that did anything for crack. And that's what I assumed. And when I heard that, that was the day that I made a choice that that's not the life that I wanted. I had to fight to know who I really was and what I wanted, because I didn't know. So I would fight against the other things that was right for me. I would just say I'm my own person, you know, I make my own choices, and don't nobody love me, don't nobody care for me. So I made my own choices. I was in control. At that time, I was not allowing God to be in control. You know, I would still pray at times. I'm not saying I made long, drawn out prayers, but there was times when I would say, Lord, help me, Lord, help me. I lived in shelters. I even slept in the park. And at that time, I had 2 children. Then I became pregnant with my 3rd child. I know I'm rambling on. This is the first time I've done this. But I am doing this because of encouraging those that are going through it, those that are still dealing with it. There is a time in your life where you just want to be free. So I'm at that time where I'm learning to be free. And believe it or not, I am almost 50. So if this video could help you right now at this time in your life, so that you won't have to make wrong choices and have to live with the accountability of the choices that you made that were wrong. If this will help you, so be it. God bless you. And may God give you the strength to go on and give you peace. But I will tell you, at this time in your life, there is a moment where you have to forgive, because if you don't forgive that individual for what they have done to you, there will never be a forward movement in your life, because your past will hunt you day by day. Every choice, every decision that you make will be because of your past. It will not be because you are free of that. You're not free to make your own choices. That life that you had lived when you were a child starts to control you. It starts to control your motives. It starts to control every decision that you make, what you like, what you dislike, what you want, what you don't want. It becomes a controlling spirit in your life. And that controlling spirit will lead you to a life of unhappiness, a life of isolation. It can lead you to a life of wrong choices over and over. And then you will wonder, why do I keep putting myself in this situation? Why do I keep dealing with the negative? Why? It's always going to leave you with a question of why. And the why is, first you have to start at forgiving. Now, mind you, I've had 5 children. One is deceased. And I am a widow. I've lost a husband. And mind you, I've been married 3 times. Oh, love to tell you that the choices that I made, because I was looking for love in all the wrong places, just willing to deal with anything just to feel love. But that was not my parents' fault. That was my fault, because I made wrong choices for wrong motives, because I needed the help. And the only help that I was going to get was from the Lord. Now, I will tell you that I only seen a psychiatrist once because I tried to commit suicide. I've never been back to a psychiatrist before, because I realized that I am responsible for the choices that I have made. All to say, we are responsible for the choices that we make after we reach the age of 18. There is purpose for our lives. I feel that I have purpose. I'm here on this earth for a reason. And I believe that I can become who God say that I am. So I will tell you today that you shall live and you shall not die. That there is something greater in you, that there is a king inside of you. If you just tap into knowing who God is, that God will reveal his purpose for your life. Now, mind you, you may know him already, and it's been hard for you still, but I will tell you to lay it all on the altar. Forgive. Forgive is the first key. Forgive, and allow God to heal you, because God will heal you from those wounds. And then God will create in you a clean heart, and he will renew a right spirit within you. This is the end of part 2. Hope to encourage you further. Have a blessed one.